Good evening, everyone. We're going to wait until 6:45 to get started. We're waiting for one more commissioner to arrive. Okay, we're going to get started. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone and officially get started with our Citizen Advisory Committee meeting this evening. And with that, we're going to do roll call. Oh, Pledge of Allegiance first. Anthony, would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Of course. Everybody please stand. Face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Chairperson Gonzalez,
Present.
Vice Chairperson Cepeda,
Present.
Committee Member Castillo,
Present.
Committee Member Zavala,
Present.
Committee Member Delgado, Committee Member Martinez,
Present.
Committee Member Mendoza,
Present.
Committee Member Janer, Committee Member Gonzalez. I will be reading the Brown Act. Agendas are drafted to accurately state what the legislative body is being asked to consider. The legislative body can take action on all items listed on the agenda and be in compliance with the open meeting laws. Under the Brown Act, no action may be taken on a matter unless it is listed on the agenda or unless certain emergency circumstances exist. The governing body may direct staff to investigate and/or schedule certain matters for consideration at future meetings. Meeting of compensation disclosure pursuant to Government Code Section 54952.3. Disclosure of compensation for meeting attendance by Citizen Advisory Committee is $25 per meeting. We will begin with the open session items. Item number 1, the Citizen Advisory Committee will consider approving the minutes for the Citizen Advisory Committee meetings of February 12th, 2025, February 19th, 2025, and February 26th, 2025.
I'd like to make a motion for approval.
Mary Castillo, I second that.
Committee Member Castillo,
Present.
Committee Member Zavala,
Present. Sorry.
so it would be yes or no if you decide to cancel the
Yes.
motion. Yes. Committee Member Martinez,
I'm not familiar with it, so can I be like neutral? Then I'll be neutral.
Committee Member Mendoza,
Yes.
Committee Member Janer. Motion passes.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Vice Chairperson Zepeda,
Yes.
Chairperson Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. My apologies. Item number 2, reorganization of the Citizen Advisory Committee. We do have a PowerPoint for this one. We do have a PowerPoint presentation for this.
Good evening, Chair and CAC members. We have this item, as usual, every year we do the reorganization of the Citizens Advisory Committee. And in accordance to the Southgate Municipal Code Title I, Kimberly, can you go to the next? Okay, thank you. Title I, Chapter 1.25. The Citizens Advisory Committee was established in accordance to the Community Development Block Grant Program Citizens Participation Plan. The Citizens Advisory Committee objective is to provide recommendations to the City Council of how best we can utilize the CDBG funds. To various nonprofit organizations operating and/or providing services to Southgate residents and to CDBG-funded city programs. The CAC has 10 members. It recently the ordinance was revised, and so it currently now we have 10 members. 2 members are appointed by each city council member. So the term of the CAC members begins when the council member confirms and continues through the duration of the term of office of the appointing council member. The term of office of any commissioner will automatically expire if the commissioner is absent without an excuse to the CDBG coordinator from 3 consecutive regularly scheduled meetings. The committee members will be reimbursed $25 for each regular meeting or up to 6 annual meetings of the committee. Annually, in August, the committee shall elect a chairperson and a vice chairperson. Both shall be elected from and by the members of the CAC. So the CAC, as I mentioned before, is an advisory committee to the City Council. They assist with the development of the annual action plan, make a specific funding or program recommendations. They shall meet as specified in the Citizens Participation Plan, which is submitted to HUD every 5 years when we prepare the 5-year plan. And the meetings are held here at the council chambers at City Hall at 8650 California Avenue. The meetings are also open to the public. So the municipal requirement and code requirement says in Title I, Chapter 1.2, Section 1.25, 050, the CAC must elect a chairperson and vice chairperson annually in August. The issue that we're having with this reorganization is that on August 2025, we did not have a meeting due to unforeseen circumstances. So the recommendation right now is to nominate and elect a chairperson and a vice chairperson. The selection has to be confirmed by majority vote, and the term for the chairperson and the vice chairperson is for 1 year. Any questions? I'll be happy to answer them.
No questions? No questions.
Okay. So we need to nominate a chair and a vice chair and do the voting. Um, we could ask the public also if they have any, if they want to speak on this item, they can do that.
Okay, so at this time, we'll open it up to public comment.
Yeah, so the thing I wanted to say is, it's 10 commissioners, and I told the old monkey, Gil Hurtado, it's like, it's kind of hard to get 10 people to get together for one meeting. Why can't it just be the standard 5? So that's the thing that I'm disappointed, is that it really should be 5. No disrespect to all the folks here serving. It's just that it's hard to get 10 people. There's one absent, this Richard Gonzalez guy. I don't know, commissioners, I don't know if you remember this. I was here last year with you all. Gonzalez wasn't present. I don't understand why he isn't here. Myra Castaneda, she was one of the smart ones. She's not here. Daisy, was it Alonzo? Another smart one. They both asked smart questions. They should be here. So I'm not happy that Richard Gonzalez didn't show up. I don't know who appointed him, but I'm going to see if I can swap him out and put one of the other commissioners back on. That's all.
Do we need to move to nominate? Is that the next action that we take?
Yes.
Are there any nominations?
Mary Castillo, I make a motion to reelect Andres Gonzalez as chairperson.
I, Ana Zavala, second the motion.
Okay, we can carry one motion for vice chair and chair. So if you guys want to nominate a vice chair. Okay.
Okay, so I like to nominate Anthony Zapata for vice chair.
Mary Castillo, I second that.
Okay. Committee member Castillo,
Yes.
committee member Zavala,
Yes.
committee member Mendoza. Yes. Committee member Janer,
Yes.
committee member Martinez,
Neutral.
vice chairperson Cepeda,
Yes.
chairperson Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes. So we'll be moving on to item number 3, substantial amendments to fiscal year 2023 to 2024, 24 to 25, and 25 to 26, annual action plans for the community development block grant funds.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Anna Marie Lanou. I'm a consultant assisting with the HUD compliance, specifically for these HUD programs, CDBG and Home. So this item will discuss the Community Development Block Grant Substantial Amendment to fiscal years. There are multiple fiscal years, fiscal year 23-24, fiscal year 24-25, and fiscal year 25-26 action plans. Next slide, please. So HUD has a requirement that all funds need to be spent, CDBG funds need to be spent in a timely manner. And there is a formula for doing so. And when a grantee, such as the city of Southgate, does not meet that timeliness, HUD will issue them and put them in a workout plan. And so part of the workout plan means regular check-ins with our HUD representative and reporting to HUD to ensure that we are determining projects that are ready to move forward, determining projects that can actually get completed within a fiscal year when it comes to programs. And when it comes to CIPs, you're given more time, but ultimately you do not want to carry over so much funds that you exceed 1.5 of your allocation at a particular given time when they do the test. So the reason we're bringing this substantial amendment forward is because during the fiscal year, it was determined that some of the projects that were programmed with funding were not moving forward. And this was an opportunity to bring to the city council a chance to reallocate funds in a manner that will get the projects moving and hopefully spend down these funds. In order to do a substantial amendment, it must meet the citizen participation plan requirements. Like it's going out. One is, go back. We have to notice the change. It requires a comment period. It requires a public hearing with the city council at a city council meeting. And so this triggers that. When you're going to eliminate a program, a project, or add something new, it triggers the substantial amendment. Next slide, please. So here's a list of the key amendments that were being recommended for this substantial amendment. In fiscal year 23-24, we would request to reduce the Neighborhood Revitalization Grant Program funds and reprogram them to the current fiscal year. And I want to explain that the way the HUD activities are set up, you cannot, like, if you had a project, let's just say that was $60,000 and your bank account for the 23-24 CDBG was $30,000, you wouldn't be able to partially pay for half of that and then jump to the current fiscal year for the next 30. So we have this odd balance that we want to carry over to the current year so that we can continue to draw down full projects, if that makes sense. So we can't have a leftover balance. So that's that recommendation. For fiscal year 24-25, this is a second substantial amendment to that fiscal year. We are recommending to remove 3 park projects, and I'll go over each one individually on the next slide, and reallocate those funds to a couple of those existing park projects as well as some other more ready activities. For fiscal year 25-26, this will be the first substantial amendment. This is the current fiscal year that we're in. We would like to remove and reallocate funds from the Small Business Grant Assistance Program that's had no movement. I believe it's $50,000, and move those funds to increase funding for the Neighborhood Revitalization Grant Program, as well as add a demolition and clearance project. Furthermore, in this fiscal year, we would be recommending to reduce home funding for an affordable housing project that's been identified and reallocate some of those funds to the residential home residential rehab program. Next slide, please. This is where I need my glasses. So this is more of the detail, and I'll go line by line. As you can see, we have a balance in the first one for the Neighborhood Revitalization Grant Program. This is CDBG funded. The allocation for that fiscal year was $357,043. And the amendment would be to move $60,000 into the 25-26 Neighborhood Revitalization Grant Program. Therefore, we would be able to close that activity. For the fiscal year 24-25, the next item is the Southgate Park improvements. The sports complex gymnasium divider, $55,000 was programmed, and that project is not moving forward. So we are going to move those funds. I think we're moving those funds to the demolition and clearance project. The girls' clubhouse renovations, which were for $64,254, we're recommending to move those funds to the swim stadium scoreboard. The roof replacement projects of $120,000, those were also not moving forward, and those we're recommending to move those also to the demolition and clearance project. The final one for the fiscal year is the swim stadium scoreboard. The bids have returned that the $80,000 that was originally budgeted is not enough, and so therefore that $64,000 is being recommended to add to that, and that would bring that amount to $144,254. In the current fiscal year, as I mentioned, we are going to remove the $50,000 from the Small Business Grant Assistance Program that did not get implemented. And we are, as I mentioned, increasing the Neighborhood Revitalization Program with $60,000. So that'll bring that up to $425,000. And we are recommending a new project, which is the demolition and clearance of a project, and that would be for $225,000. I can give a little bit of detail on some of these, just if you're interested. Just to note that the residential rehab, we have 3 rehabs in process, and we anticipate 3 additional projects. So the change in funding would help to fund all of those projects. And then in the home, we have a small amount of carryover, and by requesting the additional funds, did I talk about that yet? No, I didn't. Sorry. I'll talk about that later. Let's see, where are we? Next slide. There we go. So for the home, we are requesting to move from the affordable housing project, a residential rehab program. What affordable housing project? There is $1,300,000. We're requesting to move $348,000 to the home residential rehab program, and that would bring that balance to $381,000. And in that project, that would allow us to fund the existing projects that are in the queue, and then give us some room to do a few more projects this fiscal year. And the reason we're moving those funds from that affordable housing project is because that project is still not moving, and we want to spend down the money. And this way, when the next allocation comes, if that money is still needed for the affordable housing, that can be considered at that time. I think that concludes, yes. So I'm available for questions. And then if there are none, then we can also open it up to the community.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. I do have a question around the demo. What exactly is being demoed?
Yes. Do you want to talk about that? Okay.
So on the demolition project, we have a future affordable housing project. The successor agency or the housing authority owns the property, and in order for us to transfer the property to the developer, we have to demolish the structure. This is a site that also has some contamination, and we can't do the remediation until we demolish the structure on that project. So the site is located at 9001 Long Beach. It's 9001 to 9019. And this is a project that Habitat for Humanity is working with the city to build some, I believe, 11 townhomes.
And then I also have a question about the park projects. Can we go back to that page?
Sure.
So other than the scoreboard, the price increased, what was the reason that the other projects were not completed?
Um, I don't think that the gymnasium divider, I believe if I recall, the cost of that project was going to exceed or be more, and then they just, I don't know if it's staff turnover, but they were unable to get the projects out to bid. And so, we have to continue to move forward. It doesn't mean that these projects can't come back. They can be considered. Maybe next round, they would need to submit an application. One of the challenges when there's changes kind of without an application process is that many times you might not have the fully informed amount of a project. So you kind of estimate at that time. And I believe that's more or less what happened, is the estimates were too low with different cost changes, and then there were some staff turnovers that did not result in getting the bids out. So
And what department was responsible for getting these bids out? Was it Parks and Rec or was this Public Works?
I think for this initial run, it was Parks and Recreation. That's who we met with. And I'd like to note that some of the projects not listed here that are moving forward are the shade structures. It was about $600,000. So that is moving forward. And then, I'm sorry. Oh, yes. And the ADA resurfacing of the tot lot, that's also still moving forward. And I believe that was 120,000 if I can recall. So, out of all of the projects, those are moving forward.
Thank you for that clarification. I'm happy to hear that larger projects are moving forward. Commissioners, any other questions?
On the one about the swim stadium,
Yes.
can that one be moved to roof replacement? Can you move the money around with this?
Well, this is what's being recommended as part of the substantial amendment. The roof projects are very complex, and those funds won't even cover what was anticipated. Yes, these are a number of smaller buildings, and then in conversations with the director of Parks and Recreation, things kind of started to change with regards to just fixing the roof. The entire facility needed some rehabilitation, and we would have to come back to change that, and it just wasn't moving forward. And given our timeliness issue, we're trying to maximize these dollars so that they actually get used this as soon as possible. We're hoping to get everything completed by the end of this fiscal year. So I'm sorry, the answer is yes, the city council can move money as they want, but I would suggest that project will not move forward anyway because they don't have adequate budget. They don't have design plans. There's a number of steps that would be needed to get it out to bid, and it's probably not ready for some time.
Is the fiscal year federal or is it the city's fiscal year?
We're aligned. It's the fiscal year ends June 30th.
Okay.
So it seems that the money's being moved around or reallocated because the projects at the park weren't ready to move forward. With these new projects being suggested, what makes these ready to go now? Like, is everything else ready? Because you said it's lack of turnover, or not lack of turnover. There's too much turnover, so there's not enough employees to get bids out like that. And if that's still the same issue, to me, it would seem that this issue would remain.
No problem. So we've been in continuous contact with the staff, and even though staff have changed, there's still some staff that have been promoted and understand the history of these projects. and have reached out now working together with Public Works. So Public Works is going to assist in making sure that the packages are meeting all the federal requirements, so that there's been meetings and progress to that. So we have schedules and, you know, a lot of hope that it's all going to work out as planned, because the folks that have that experience are at the table.
There's no timeline you can share with us?
Oh,
Just because,
as I
it-
mentioned, before the end of the fiscal year, we are, some of these are ready to go. I can explain that the scoreboard, for example, is going to be, I think, on the next agenda. They went out to bid.
Okay.
It got approved last night, sorry.
Oh.
My little birdie over here. So it got approved last night. So the project will be implemented pending the approval of the substantial amendment.
Thank you.
And the other projects, let me see. I don't have a specific timeline for those, except that they've given me schedules, and it looks like they can be completed sometime in June.
That's a short runway there. All right, we're gonna. Yes, you have a question?
Yeah. You're expecting us to vote on these things? Because I don't understand them at all.
No, this is informational. In the past, most recent past,
You know,
We've-
because it's a lot of money and then it's all different things and they're not happening and they are happening. I'm confused. I'm sorry.
that's fine. This is
And
an
I don't want to vote on something I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, we are not asking for any action. We are bringing it to you, the CAC, for informational purposes. And if there's comments, we're taking these comments back as if it's public input comments that can be considered by the city council for the substantial amendment. In the past, recent past, it was urged that we would share substantial amendments to CDBG funding with this committee, so that's why we're here. We're not asking for action, just if you have comments, we'll share those comments during the council meeting.
I would like to know the reason why the three projects from last fiscal year, why did they stop, or why did they not move forward? What was the reason?
So there are probably a number of reasons. One would be some staff turnover, maybe some inexperience with implementing the bids. The price estimates were probably too low, and therefore these amounts are not covering the cost that is needed. So some of these items have been bid, and the bids are coming in too high, and they've been rebid, and that's causing delay as well. So the changes are going to help, for example, the scoreboard to be fully funded. And then we are hopeful that we can spend these funds, because we're also up against a timeliness issue.
Will these three projects be revisited in the near future for refurbishing or for renovations, replacements?
So part of the action plan process is a notice of available funding, or funding availability. We call it a NOFA, which is our next item. And the main work, the heavy load that this committee does is you review applications. So during that period of receiving applications, any department can submit an application asking for these considerations every year. So it's not only available to nonprofits for the public services, but it's also available for non-public service projects, which are typically considered by Public Works, Parks and Recreation, and Community Development. Mhm. At this time, I think if there's any comments from the public, you can call them up.
Yes, so at this time, I'd like to open it up to public comment.
All right, commissioners, I got a story for you. Okay, so I want to thank the commissioners for the beautiful work you did last year with assigning the 1.1 million to our Department of Parks and Recreation. Thank you. I mean, that is really what I've been dreaming of, a win for the residents. Sadly, the former director of Parks and Recreation, Steve Costley, he blew it. He blew it for us all. He had on March 11th of 2025, that's the item report where that had the list of projects that you all signed off on and approved. That's, I have the item report. I send it to you guys, March 11th, 2025. What's today's date? Today is February 11th of 2026. In all this time, they haven't completed a single project. You can thank the former director, Steve Costley, for dragging his ass and failing to deliver on a single park project that you all signed off and approved. Like Ms. Lanou stated yesterday, they had the city council meeting. One of the projects, a scoreboard, made it on there. That's pitiful. That should have been done and completed last year, as well as the shade structures and the children's tot lot. Ms. Lanou, I went through the numbers with her. She said of the 1.1 million, $940,000 is going to go through to those three projects. The reason why we're only getting three is because, as Ms. Lanou stated, when Cossie came in and he gave you his numbers, he underestimated them. He came in low. You know, the inflation, all that, it bumped up everything super high. With the girls' clubhouse, the reason why that one's not happening, Ms. Averill stated, is because of asbestos and was it lead-based paint? So they have to do remediation, and that's going to bump up the cost for that. The one with the roofs for the Boy Scouts, again, it's too costly. The 1 million, forget it. It's not going to cover all that. And then what was the other one? I'm missing what the other one was. Oh, here's the one that really ticks me off. The gym divider. Now, Mr. Costley described that as a curtain that you drop down to split the room in half so you can have an exercise class on one side of the room and kids playing basketball on the other. That you would think they'd be able to knock that out. Even he couldn't even pull that one off in the year's time. So the reason why I'm here, commissioners, is to ask you with the next round of CDBG funds to pour as much money as you can into the home, what do you call it? The neighborhood revitalization program. You know, there's a word that's lost in our meetings here, and that is prosperity. No one is thinking about the prosperity of our residents here and giving back to our residents. Yet our council members want to dump a utility user tax on us. And I'm asking the commissioners to make as much use as you can of our CDBG funds next time around and pour it into the home revitalization program. I'll end with that.
So with that, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file.
Can someone carry the motion?
Mary Castillo, I second that.
Committee Member Castillo?
Yes.
Committee Member Zavala?
Yes.
Committee Member Martinez?
The motion that I made is to receive the report and file it. Receive and file the report that was received. So we're not
Yes.
taking any actions with it. We're just receiving it and file. Yes.
Okay. I'll start again. Committee Member Castillo?
Yes.
Committee Member Zavala?
Yes.
Committee Member Martinez?
Yes.
Committee Member Mendoza? Committee Member Janer?
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Cepeda?
Yes.
Chairperson Gonzalez?
Yes.
Motion passes. We also have an informal presentation for the annual action plan. So I'll be putting that up right now.
I just wanted to clarify that on the agenda, this was listed along with the substantial amendment, but this is only an informational report. So just to give you a little bit of a background, every year, annually, we receive funding from the Housing and Urban Development Department for the Community Development Block Grant funding. If you could go to the next slide. So the purpose of this of this item is to inform the Citizens Advisory Committee of the process that we follow when we receive the CDBG funding. So we estimate that for fiscal year 26-27, we may receive 1.1 million in Community Development Block Grant. The CAC will hear presentations from public and non-public service applicants on Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. And today, as you came in, we gave you a binder with all the applications that we received, so you can review them. And you can ask questions during the presentations. Next. So the City of Southgate, as you know, is an entitlement city. We receive both CDBG and Home Investment Partnership funding on an annual basis. And so we have to carry out a wide range of community development activities that will benefit low-income residents. So this year, we estimate that we may receive 1.1 million in CDBG funds. We still haven't received the information in regards to the appropriations and the allocations. Next, please. Next slide. Oh, okay. So during the month of October, we release NOFA, a Notice of Funding Availability, posted in the newspaper on October 30th, as well as we posted it on our website along with the application. And also emails were sent to nonprofit organizations and city departments to notify them of the funding availability for fiscal year 26-27. The applications were made available online. Any organization could go to our website and pull the application. And then the applications were accepted at the city clerk's office until December 1st of 2025. So based on the applications that we received for public service projects, we received 5 applications. As you can see, we received the California Latino Institute for the Southgate Chamber Internship Program. And last year, we awarded them with $22,000. This year, they're requesting $33,000. Also, the Family Violence Prevention Program, for which is managed by the police department, we awarded them $24,895 on fiscal year 25-26, and this fiscal year, they are requesting $27,000. The City of Southgate Public Works applied for graffiti abatement. Last year, they received $94,000, and this year they're applying for $140,000. The Southgate Police Explorers, they received $23,000 last year, and they're requesting $23,000 for this fiscal year. The City of Southgate Home Modification Program, which is managed by the Southern California Rehab Services, they received $15,000 and they're requesting $15,000. So as you know, the requests are for $238,000, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that we have around $165,000 available based on what we may receive this year. Next. And then we received one application for a non-public service project from the Southgate Chamber of Commerce for the Southgate Women's Business Center. The CDBG amount that was awarded for fiscal year 25-26 was $12,000, and they're requesting $12,000 for 26-27. Any questions?
You said there was $1.1 million allocated.
Yes.
Why is the amount that, why is that less than that?
So
Is it going somewhere else, or why is it less?
So what happens is the full allocation of CDBG funding, we estimate that maybe 1.1 million. Out of the 1.1 million, we take 20% of that for administration and planning of the CDBG program. 15% goes, yes, 15% has to go for public service grants. And then the remaining balance goes for other projects like non-public service, CIP projects, like the home revitalization program, facade improvements, and so on. So for the public service grants, we have the 15% is $165,000. So that's what we have for just for those applications. So the 20%, I don't remember exactly how much that was, but that leaves us out of the 1.1 million, that leaves us with about 715,000 to do other projects that are non-public service grants. And that adds up to the 1.1 million. So those are requirements. The 20% cap for administration is a CDBG requirement. The 15% for public service grants is also a requirement for the CDBG program. That's how we have to divide it.
Almost 75% is for administration,
No, 20% is for administration and planning.
50%,
20%,
20%.
yes.
And the rest of the money?
So
I'm sorry,
So the
what,
20
where is the rest of the money going?
the 20% of the 1.1 million is 220,000. That goes for administration and planning. The 15% of the $1.1 million is 165,000, which goes for the public service grants.
Public surface?
Public service, which are all those applications that you have on
Oh,
the
okay,
bank.
okay.
And then the remaining balance, which is 715,000, goes to non-public service grants and CIP projects and other projects like the home revitalization program. And that will add up, the 715, 220,000, and 165 adds up to 1.1 million.
Okay.
You good? Any other questions? Will we be able to get a list of what the other projects that are CIP that are being funded by the HUD funding?
We have, yes, we have been in communication with Public Works, and they are looking at projects that they have that could be in low-income census tracts, that could be utilizing CDBG funding. So once we have a list, we'll be happy to bring it to you.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? No? Any comments from the public?
Oh, so at this time, I'd like to open up this item to public comment.
All right, so I know you guys aren't going to be voting on projects tonight, but the reason why I wanted to be here was to say to the commissioners, you know, this time, let's take this round of CDBG funds and pour it into the home revitalization program. I've really have lost faith in our departments. I wanted to originally to come in here and say, can we use the CDBG funds towards a $50,000 police official police grade drone. In November of last year, I had the chief, our new chief of police. He gave me an excellent tour of that building of his. He took me all up and down that goddamn building. I mean, we walked all up and down. The roof for crying out loud. So I said, well, where are the drones? Can I see the drones? So he brings out the drone, and the guy who operates it says, look, what we have isn't even an official police grade drone. Those are $50,000 drones. What we have is the $1,800 drones that you or I could purchase. And that got me thinking, well, wait a second, can't we use the CDBG funds to get one of these drones? But after this debacle with Steve Costley, I mean, you guys handed that department $1 million on a platter, and they just barely got one project in front of the city council last night. So I want to instruct the commissioners to use this round of CDBG funds into the home revitalization program. And like I said, I know you're not going to be voting on projects tonight, but I want to be here for the next meeting to urge you to go in this direction. I hope this is something that you're open to. That's all.
Do they go packaged together? Okay, so I'd like to reopen it up
Okay.
for both items to receive and file.
I'll second
Mary
that motion.
Castillo, I make a motion to accept it. So,
Committee Member Castillo,
yes.
Committee Member Zavala,
Yes.
Committee Member Martinez,
Yes.
Committee Member Mendoza, Committee Member Janer,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Cepeda,
Yes.
Chairperson Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so at this point, I'd like to open it up to any comments from our staff, commissioners, or the public.
All right, so I got another story for you. So I participated in other city council meetings. So Cudahy has Zoom, Huntington Park has Zoom. So they did their CDBG thing. They, just like, us, all right? So I spoke with each, not during the council meetings, but off, separate, offline, I guess, however they say it. So I called both directors of community development. The gentleman for Cudahy, his name is Juan Arauz. And I said, because we have the facade renovation program here in Southgate, right? So I said, do you guys have a facade renovation? And Cudahy said, oh no, that was phased out before I even took the position. No, we don't have that here. So that's Cudahy. And then I get a hold of the director of community development in Huntington Park. I forget the gentleman's name. And I asked him, do you guys have a facade renovation program? Because during the Huntington Park City Council meeting, I said to them what I said to you guys last year, invest in parks. When you invest in parks, you're investing in your people. Pour as much CDBG funds into your Department of Parks and Recreation. And their council members are like, you see in the video, oh yeah, I like that. That's good. And they did that. And then the director, when I spoke with him, he said, after you give your public comment, I'm not sure if we're going to continue the facade renovation. So, and one of the director of community development for Huntington Park, he actually said, we can't get any takers with this facade renovation. We've advertised it on our social media platforms. We send out flyers, we put out notices, and no one wants to participate. So the reason why I'm sharing this with you, commissioners, is if the facade renovation has tanked for our city, for Cudahy, for Huntington Park, why do we even have it? This is a failed program that needs to be scrapped and done away with. And I hope going forward, you just eliminate it and don't even give it any consideration. It needs to be phased out. And really, let's just focus on investing in the residents and giving them the opportunity to fix their homes and contribute to their prosperity. All in with that.
Commissioners, any other comments before we adjourn? So with that, I'd like to adjourn our meeting. 6:36. No, sorry, 7:36.